Tonight on CTV News at 5.
It's a kind of protest as well as to say thank you.
Growing conflict, the latest on the situation in Iran and reaction from the community in Halifax.
It's a really good way to start my trip here.
Then getting scientific. Students in New Brunswick are getting to do some cool experiments this March break.
A mostly clear but very cold night ahead for the region. Sunshine Tuesday gives way to a mix of snow and rain Tuesday night.
Live from the Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Stephanie Seacos in for Maria Panapalis. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, growing conflict. Israel and the United States are firing at Iran as the war expands to several fronts. The conflict appears to be widening as the Islamic Republic and its proxies targeted Israel, Arab states, and U.S. bases in retaliation for killing Iran's supreme leader. CTV's Hafsa Arif spoke with the Iranian community in Halifax to see how they're feeling today. Hafsa.
Hey, Steph, emotions are running within Canada's Iranian community very high, some celebrating what they call the fall of a dictator. Others warn this could be a dangerous beginning of a regional war.
Sarvan Bohrani hasn't slept much since the news broke.
It was so overwhelmed with all those emotions that I cried out of happiness, out of excitement.
Bohrani was among many Iranian Canadians celebrating the death of Ayatollah Khamenei. She called it long overdue, especially after years of violent crackdowns on protesters inside Iran.
All of my soul, my heart, all of my personality, everything about me is still there because I have this deep sympathy for my people.
For weeks, Iranian communities across Canada had been rallying, calling on the U.S. to intervene. Then over the weekend, a joint U.S.-Israeli strike hit targets inside Iran.
My family members and all of us consider this as a humanitarian intervention. And it is not the war against the people of Iran, it is the war against the Islamic Republic.
While some celebrate, analysts argue the bigger picture is far more complicated. Robert Hewish, political science expert, says peace talks that were underway are now effectively over.
Perhaps there was a deal in the works, but it certainly wasn't one that included the intentions of Israel, who clearly, as they've been saying for the last couple of years, wanted a direct invasion of Iran. This weekend, they got exactly that.
Hewish says naval forces had been building up in the region for weeks, suggesting this was not a sudden development.
The state forces like the Revolutionary Guard or Basij, the paramilitary group, if they start using force on those protesters, it shows that there's still strength for the regime. And in that case, we can likely expect the country to start to faction and even descend into civil war.
Bohrani, however, says for her family and friends still in Iran, the moment feels hopeful.
Although all of this sounds might be scary, but they prefer that from in comparison with remaining the Islamic Republic.
Over the weekend, Prime Minister Mark Carney voiced support for U.S. and Israel, while also reassuring Canadians this is not a war Canada will enter. Now, internationally, the United Nations has urged restraint, and many Americans have expressed opposition to another overseas conflict. Whether people support this war or not, Steph, many Iranian Canadians are watching closely, hopeful for change, but aware the future remains uncertain. Steph?
Thanks, Hafsa. CTV's Hafsa Arif reporting in the news center tonight. And that brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, are you monitoring the situation in Iran? Your options are, yes, I'm watching it closely. I'm checking the headlines. No, I'm not monitoring it. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and see the latest poll results. Now we'll see what's coming up tonight on CTV News at 6 with Todd Battis.
Thank you, Stephanie. As Hafsa showed us, the latest round of violence in the Middle East is reverberating in our region. Petroleum prices are set to climb and global air travel is being impacted as well. Coming up at 6, more on the fallout from the most recent round of attacks. New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt has gone from India to Toronto, trying to sell what New Brunswick has to offer. And a former premier of that province says the focus should be on the growing economy and exactly what the province needs to do to get itself out of the financial hole that it's in. Laura Brown will bring us that tonight at 6. After 5 days of deliberations, there is still no verdict in the Jansen Baker double murder trial. Baker is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder of the deaths of Rosemary Saunier and her husband Bernard. The elderly couple was found in their Dieppe home 7 years ago. Let's turn now for our first look at the forecast on this new week. Kayla Mitchell standing by. It was a chilly one.
Yeah, after some milder daytime high temperatures on the weekend, we started off this week with a snap of some bitterly cold air. That's still going to be in place for this evening and tonight. Current temperatures around the maritime region are mostly in the range of around -7 to -12, and most lows tonight will be falling into the minus teens, and some in the north and west of New Brunswick down into the -20s. Those colder temperatures are currently being accompanied by a wind that is mostly out of the north and northwest and being sustained between around 10 and 20 kilometers per hour. We are getting a few gusts reported between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. The winds will continue to diminish as we make our way through this evening towards midnight. So it's going to be very cold tonight, but wind chill isn't going to be a huge factor during the overnight hours or for the start of the day for tomorrow. Taking a look at things on radar and satellite. The colder temperatures are being accompanied by relatively clear conditions across much of the Maritimes. The exception today has been some cloud cover around Cape Breton off of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. This area of high pressure will continue to remain in place for the region as we move through tonight into the start of the day on Tuesday. I will have more in the forecast coming up later on. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. It's March break for students in New Brunswick, and there is no shortage of activities around the province to enjoy over the next week. If you're a fan of science in and around Fredericton, then you'll want to pay attention to where CTV's Avery McCrae was today.
For young minds like Diego Tubb, March break doesn't mean time off from learning.
I think it's really interesting, and I'm learning a lot of stuff.
Do you have a favorite part?
Definitely the skull bit right here.
I'm super excited for this dome where you go in and it looks like space.
It's a similar sentiment for Alexis Kritikos, who made the trip from Sackville to take in Sci-Fest.
This is really fun. I've never been here before, and it's a really good way to start my trip here.
Science East has set up shop inside the Fredericton Convention Center for the 4-day event. From learning about prehistoric fossils to the stars and even how to build a rocket. Executive Director Jen McDonnell says Sci-Fest combines education with fun.
It's meant for families to come explore our exhibits and activities while at the same time getting exposed to science.
Through interactive displays and presentations, McDonnell hopes the festivities will inspire the next generation to explore the field further. But the older kids have also been enjoying the fun.
Having a public event like this in downtown Fredericton is a great way for us to reach many people in one spot. And we're doing it during March break, which is a great time for families to spend time together and do something outside of school.
For the children here, it's the perfect start to their March break, with plenty more on the agenda. Do you have any other big plans for March break?
We're going to that bouncy castle thing.
We might go sliding at Mac-to-Quack this week.
We're going to Moncton with our cousins. And we're going to go to a hotel.
Sci-Fest is open again Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 4. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
Time now for our first break this evening. Still to come on CTV News at 5. We'll find out who now holds the title of World's Best Donaire. And we have this story.
I'm Brianne Foley at the BMO Soccer Center in Halifax, where we're getting a sneak peek at the new look Tides. We'll catch up with them coming up tonight on CTV News at 5.
It may have been frigid outside today, which doesn't necessarily scream soccer weather. But as CTV's Brianne Foley shows us, a little Canadian cold is not stopping the Halifax Tides from focusing on business in year 2 of the Northern Super League.
Stephen Hart has officially taken the role of head coach for the Halifax Tides after filling in as interim coach halfway through last season.
The excitement period is there to see all the incoming players and the ones who are back for their second year.
The Tides have welcomed some new faces to the lineup, looking to inject some different and international energy into year 2.
I don't think it's key for the success of the club, but it's key for having good balance. A lot of them have been professionals since they were 17 years old, and that can help the players that we have understand the sort of role and responsibility of being a professional. So we thought that would be important.
It was my first year of pro in general, and just the quality and how amazing it is to be playing with players that are more experienced than myself. And I just realized I had so much to learn from the people around me, and I'm really grateful for that.
Even if conditions are a little colder than what she's used to.
Okay, well, I don't have a winter coat, let me tell you, so it's been a bit of an adjustment. I thrifted a fur one, though, and I think it's serving looks.
But it's not all new in Halifax this year.
I wanted to be here, and the club was great and kind of walking me through everything to come. So, yeah, no, super excited to be back.
Sid Kennedy is one of 4 Nova Scotians returning to the turf for Halifax, but a healthy dose of international competition within the team is a focus to make them better.
There's a lot more pressure this year than there was last year. I want to hold myself to a high standard, so I know I'm kind of always in competition with myself as well as the other keepers, so I think I'm just going to use that to push and power me through.
With a solid core returning from last year, including keeper Annika Toth, the combo of new and returning is a highlight for Kennedy.
We needed kind of a new energy around here, but we took a lot of learnings from year 1, and we're just trying to apply those learnings here in year 2.
At the end of the month, the team will take a trip across the pond for some preseason international action in Europe. And on March 23rd, a new kit reveal for a new look Tides. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
It's hard to believe we're less than 2 months away from their home opener.
I'm excited to see the new kits. That sounds interesting for sure.
Oh yes, always exciting to see those reveals.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to be with you, Stephanie, live, because usually we're corresponding back and forth on a big snow event coming in on Monday. So this is a nice change of pace. Speaking of a nice change of pace, it was cold but sunny today as we're looking at Officer Square in downtown Fredericton. We've got more on the forecast, including when we can expect some March snow, coming up next.
It's not just our theme for African Heritage Month. It is a decision to stay at the table.
African Heritage Month concluded in Nova Scotia on Saturday with its annual gala. This year, more than 1,200 guests gathered at the Halifax Convention Centre to celebrate African heritage and community. Government officials and business leaders were among the invited guests. The entertainment included O Sound and the Nova Scotia Mass Choir, with an introduction by CTV's own Vanessa Wright. Now time for the forecast, and it was cold out there today.
Oh, it sure was. A snap of some colder air to get this month started. Not too unusual in March to get these type of temperature swings. Let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times, and for that we're going to go to beautiful view here out at Herring Cove, Nova Scotia. I mean, if you're bundled up for it. Sky conditions today were basically sunny across a good portion of the Maritimes. A bit more of a mix of sun and cloud in Cape Breton because of some cloud cover that was drifting in off of the Gulf. As we take a look at our weather systems map, barometric pressure is very much on the higher side for all 3 maritime provinces, sitting around and above 1,030 millibars. That area of high pressure is pretty much centered almost directly over top of us at the moment, and it is going to be around for tonight and during the day for tomorrow. So clear, cold night ahead, more sunshine for Tuesday. However, we are going to see a change Tuesday night into Wednesday, which is when a mix of snow and rain will arrive back into the Maritimes. So with that high pressure in place, I don't have anything to show you on radar. And in fact, as we take a look at our forecast timeline, outlook in cloud cover and precipitation, not much of either of those things showing up as we head into the start of the day for tomorrow. During the day on Tuesday, it remains mostly sunnier with a fair weather mix of sun and cloud, though Tuesday evening it'll be increasing cloudiness. And by around the mid to late evening hours, between around 9 p.m. and midnight, the first of the snow expected to show up in the southwestern corner of New Brunswick and the southwest of Nova Scotia. Now, this is a fast-moving weather system, so that snow will fill in quickly Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning across the south of New Brunswick, flurries for northern New Brunswick, into Prince Edward Island and across Nova Scotia. For Nova Scotia, the snow is expected to mix with or turn over to some rain, especially around the Atlantic coastline and into the southwest of the province. The remaining mixture of snow and rain for the Maritimes clears out quickly Wednesday morning. But just as a heads up, that Wednesday morning commute could be on the snowy and slippery side, especially for the province of Nova Scotia, but also possibly parts of eastern Prince Edward Island and around the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick. Winds in the forecast for tomorrow. There's a change in the direction. They're going to become southwest, and they're going to pick up a bit into the afternoon. A blustery day with a lot of gusts coming up to the range of around 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, though that will recover the temperatures a little bit from the morning into the afternoon. because the morning temperatures are going to be very cold. In fact, they'll be close to the overnight lows, which for most of the Maritimes is down the range around -14 and -18. Some -20s for northern and western areas of New Brunswick. Parts of the coastline of Nova Scotia could have some low temperatures between -8 and -12. In that blustery southwest wind, though, for Tuesday, a lot of high temperatures in the Maritimes come up into the range of around -2 to +3, which is pretty close to average for the start of March. So very cold start to the day, and then kind of a bit more average as we make our way through the afternoon. I want to talk a little bit more about the forecast for Wednesday. I mentioned with that mixture of snow and rain moving in, there could be some snowy and slippery roads. That does clear out quite quickly, though, moving through the morning hours. And in behind it, daytime high temperatures come up between 3 and 8 degrees. Just a little bit more on the Wednesday weather. The highest chance right now, maybe seeing some snowfall amounts totaling up between 10 and 15 centimeters. Mostly looks like it'll be around the interior of Nova Scotia, around the Atlantic coastline in the southwest. 5 to 10 centimeters. Same thing goes for eastern parts of Prince Edward Island, and a chance of 5 to 10 centimeters of snow around parts of the Bay of Fundy coastline in New Brunswick. Let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 5-year-old Ezra Sloanwhite from Albert Bridge, Nova Scotia. Ezra has sent us a drawing of some typical March weather for the province, which includes some sun, some snow, and of course, as we just talked about, some rain as well. Thank you, Ezra. And weather watchers can come in anytime to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Stephanie.
Thanks, Kaylin. A ceremony was held in Halifax over the weekend to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the end of the Persian Gulf War. CTV's Jim Qualman was there.
Wipe the still! Today we honor your service, we honor your courage, and we honor your sacrifice. Well, 35 years ago today, the call came in that there was an aggression that could not be ignored within the world, and that Canada decided to make a response in favor of law and peace. And so they directed that the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force and the Canadian Army would go into serve in that theater of ops. And so we had 3 ships that departed Halifax with their crew and 5 aircraft on board those ships in order to go and do what was needed.
I would like to express our deepest gratitude to Veterans Affairs Canada, Department of National Defence. Thank you for the vision, the effort, and the respect shown in organizing an event of this magnitude to honor our service.
Today we're recognized what we did over in the Persian Gulf during the Persian Gulf War. And today it's a little bit of closure for some of us because this is the first time in 35 years that our government has actually recognized their service in the Persian Gulf. And that means a lot to the guys that are here and the guys that couldn't make it here and the guys that have passed. It's a little heartful coming today and a little emotional for a lot of veterans of today.
For the first time, women served as equal participants in combat roles.
What we see is a veteran, and the women of the first Gulf War, they're trailblazers for upcoming veterans to be, because they didn't look at it back then either. They looked at it as, it's my job. We're here to serve the country, and this is what we do. Canada had a great reputation in 1991 in the Gulf for being stand up, and whatever we asked, we got done.
We'll take one final break now. Still to come, who has the world's best Donaire?
We use good quality, top quality meat, and we use 15 type of spices in our Donaires.
Pitted against each other to see which one would walk away with the title.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. This is it. One more trip to be won with Password to Paradise tomorrow after 7.
And then get ready to win cash with Aaron and Peter's payroll details tomorrow.
4 Halifax area restaurants went head-to-head Saturday to see which one would earn the title of Best Donaire in the world. CTV's Jim Qualman now with who was crowned the winner.
3, 2, 1.
It has officially commenced the Great Donaire Showdown. The documentary leads out into the story of me and the story of the Donaire, how it started, where it came from, who invented it, shops that started it first, and guys that own their own shops now that win competitions, learning from this place and then branching off onto their own. Again, it digs deep into the story of the Donaire and where it came from and the origins of it, and me, where I came from. Donaires need to get on a world platform. They need to, be recognized more worldwide. They're more local maritime thing. They're absolutely amazing, and I just got all these people to come together, and we all came together, and it was very shocking. It was very hard at first, but once I, spread the word about it's for Donaires, everybody just came together and they love it. And I had to put this event on to get the word out, that you got to try a Donaire. The two contestants that time was Sassy's Pizza and Roberta's Pizza. The winner that had the fastest pickup time the other day is Roberta's.
We're the first winner of the best Donaire in the world. I've been making Donaire since 1976, almost 4 decades, and we use a good quality, top quality meat, and we use 15 type of spices in our Donaires. It's a maritime thing, it's a Canadian, it's not Greek or Lebanese or anything. They made a Greek chef, he designed the Donaire. He got the idea from Turkey and he designed the Donaire and the sweet sauce for Canadian people. Because actually, there is no such a thing as a Donaire in the Middle East. They have something called shawarma, which is, they use all beef, like steak meat, but Donaire is just designed for Canadian people, actually.
Can I admit something?
What's that?
I've never had a Donaire.
Well, you got to get on that.
I know. I've lived here long enough. I have no excuse at this point.
I was about to say the real winners are us with all these fantastic Donaire shops around.
It is very true. Okay, you're back at 6. You're tracking another weather system.
Yeah, so Donaire is good in all sorts of weather, even a mixture of snow and rain, which we have coming in Tuesday night, and more on that coming up at 6.
All right, thanks for watching. Your national news is up next.